hip hop, hip hop, yeah, hip hop, hip bars is back, hip hop, Santa Ant, oh God, what's up with you? I done watched them niggas do interview after interview. They not culture vultures, the culture something they been into. So if you never gave them a view, I recommend you do. Cause when they question guests, they message is not subliminal.
Especially in stand-up because it's not paying. And, you know, I just started hustling every night. First time I went up on stage, I bombed, died the death of 1,000 dogs. Went up the next night, did a little bit better, and just start at it. And that one thing about me is I'm an OCD in a little bit of way. When I get into a groove, I get locked into that groove. So every night I was on stage, sometimes 2 or 3 times a night, writing every day. And I kind of miss that, to be honest. I kind of need to get back to that. I used to write jokes every day. And I remember some advice Red Foxx gave my brother when my brother was an extra on a set of Harlem Nights. He said Red Foxx told him, write a joke every day. It's 365 days in a year. You'll never run out of material. And that's, I took that and I always lived by that, and I got away from that. And sometimes you do get lax, you do get comfortable, you get away from stuff, you get busy. So now it's time to get back to that, man. But I mean, once I got bit by that bug, man, I was bit. But the thing that really was the key that started the engine was Def Comedy Jam. Watching my brother and Martin and that whole first season, Bernie Mac and Eddie Griffin and DL and Cedric and all those guys on Def Comedy Jam, man, that inspired me to write, wow, I can kind of do this for a living. And that's what it was.
You know, that was probably like, it was my golden era comedy, even though the era before we got Richard Pryor, Red Fox, Robin Harris. I mean, that's just like the dream team. But when you came through, it was so dynamic because I was a kid and this shit I listened to was funny. And one of the things that I always love, and I can laugh at my friends with that Jamie Foxx roast when he cooked Doug Williams. Damn, dude, man. Can you talk about that night?
I just saw Doug the other night at my brother's. My brother had a 55th birthday party.
Right. And
Doug was there, man. And every time, I mean, people bring that up to me a lot because that roast was funny, man, because you know, Shaq used to come to my comedy night I had in LA. That was called Fat Tuesdays, which is the greatest night in comedy in the history of comedy. But he used to come and he got the idea from that. And that's how I ended up getting booked on the show. And he saw Doug Williams up there, I'm sure, who got booked on the show. A lot of comics who came to Fat Tuesdays, you know, was on that roast. I mean, the ones who was on that roast came to Fat Tuesdays, including my brother. So that roast, man, you know, they mic'd us, all of us up. And they said, you can talk whenever you want to talk. You can chime in on everybody's stuff, like, cool. And Doug Williams was a rising star in the comedy. He wasn't quite there yet. So some of us was questioning, you know, damn, he got a good agent, you know, because we knew he was funny. He always was funny when he came to Fat Tuesdays. He always said it was a smart comic, but really a lot of people didn't know his name. And we was like, okay. And then so when he said that, it was just wow. And Jamie I've seen that roast, at least that part, about 1,900 times. And I laugh every damn time. And Doug Williams is a great guy, funny comedian. And that was we put him on suicide watch at night, man. we put him on suicide watch, man, because it was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, Jamie did his thing.
Jamie killed him.
Oh my God.
Killed him.
I was sitting there watching Poetic Justice about a week ago, and I was watching your brother on there act, and I'm like, you know, we need to get both of them on the show. My question is, though, to you, did you ever meet Tupac? And if you did, how was that experience?
Man, I met Tupac, man, the day Bill Clinton got elected into office the first time. I just moved to Los Angeles, man, in August of 92, and they was doing some pickup shots of Poetic Justice on the Columbia lot, which is now the Sony lot in Los Angeles. And we were going to go vote. And he said, let's stop by the set. Janet's up there. John is up there. John Singleton, rest in peace. Tupac, rest in peace. And Tupac was leaving the studio, and we were coming in. And I was always a big fan of his acting, you know, from Juice, and I'm a fan of his music. And I always thought he was such a dynamic actor, you know. And when I met him, he was hot about something. and he met Joe. He saw Joe, and he was going off, not on Joe, but like, man, these motherfuckers, man, I'm a blah 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 blah. And Joe was like, calm down, chill. And I was sitting there like, that nigga wasn't acting in juice. That's who he is. But he always, man, was supportive, man. When he found out I was doing stand-up, man, he would come to my shows, and always encourage me, man, get out your brother's shadow, carve your own lane, get your own voice. He was always, in my ear with stuff, man. So, and a couple of times he visited my shows. I used to host an open mic hip hop show in LA on Sunset, and he came one time looking at some artists, and it was right before Poetic Justice came out, and I interviewed him, and he like went on one of those tangents where he snapped. And I was nervous, like I had a Mike Myers situation when Kanye West was like, President Bush don't like black people. I was sitting there like, because Pac just went whole left field, man. But Pac, man, he was a good dude, man. Good dude.
Absolutely. Now, when I think back on my childhood, I remember you in 3 movies: Sunset Park when you played Boo Man, American History X, and Life. And I just think of the versatility. You know what I'm saying? When you first hear your voice, you obviously hear Joe. It's like, oh shit, that's Joe Torry's brother. But then you got to see you, and now Guy Torry starts to form. Man, can you talk about what movies kind of made you feel like, all right, nah, I'm in here and I'm in my own lane right now?
Okay, first of all, motherfucker, your childhood, don't make it seem like I'm old as hell.
No,
my childhood, and you come with that Barry White voice and shit. You look older than me.
I do. How old are you?
I'm 51, man.
Hell yeah, you older than
me. I grew up watching you in my childhood. I'm messing with you, man. No, man. All right, rest the question. I was so fucked up by that question.
Nah, I said I remember 3 movies. I remember Sunset. Oh, yeah. You played Blue Man, American X, and Life.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. So 2 of those movies, I didn't have my teeth fixed. That was Sunset Park and American History X. Sunset Park, man, was a good movie, man. It was fun to be in. I didn't have really nothing but one line in that movie, and I ended up heckling all day just on the set. And they said giving me lines, but working with my buddy Talent, who we toured with on the Def Comedy Jam tour, and Onyx. Well, Fredro Starr, man, my guy, and all the other guys, man, Anthony Hall and my man Busy B. Oh, Terrence Howard. Terrence Howard was in that movie as well, man. But we built a camaraderie, man. DeAndre Bounds was the other cat on there. So yeah, we formed a bond working on that movie, man, and friendships that still last to this day. And it was good because they let me ad lib. And working with someone like Real Pearlman, man, who was just on Cheers, and who we grew up watching. I grew up watching on Cheers, and to be, in a movie with her was cool, and the banter with her and go back and forth was just awesome, man. So that movie was great. And it's funny because I got screamed at for shooting that movie because at the time I wrote an episode of Martin, and they were shooting my episode of Martin that same week. I was shooting Sunset Park, and Martin was a little upset that I wasn't, on set for my own script that I co-wrote. And but yeah, that memory will always be in my head. Like, man, the first script I ever wrote, and it got produced and aired. I wasn't there for the shooting, which was crazy. But I was doing Sunset Park at the time.
Wow.
American History X is a whole nother story, and then Life. I mean, you have 3 very different movies.
Yeah.
And that's just the gift God gave me to be able to be versatile and to be what do you want to call it? Versatile is the word they use. So American History X was a movie that was just serious, and it showed Hollywood that I could be dramatic. I can get my drama on. And most comedians are, because we're dark on the inside anyway. If we put our comedy ego out the way and tap into our dark side, well, all of us will make a lot of great actors in dramatic work. So, I mean, that movie changed my career because that movie introduced me really to Hollywood as a dramatic actor. And that's when people, I think, took notice. It was like, oh, wait a minute. He's not just, a clown. He got some chops. And then Life was just, bar none, Life was just my favorite set to be on. Because Eddie Murphy set the tone from the top. He told the director, let them go. Let them do whatever they want to do. And when you have the star give you that type of freedom, they respect your work and they trust you. And too many movies, you got stars that try to hold, the other actors back, don't want to get outshined. But hell, if it's a good piece, it's a good piece. Iron sharpen iron. That's in the Bible. So it's like that movie, man, just taught me a lot about, just not having an ego and letting others shine as well. And when you all shine, you all win.
Definitely, absolutely. Now, is it true that you want